Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. My name is Dave Grant. My co-host is Heather Townsend. Today is a mailbag episode. We're going to answer all your questions that you've been sending in, and we'll make sure that you feel heard, you feel seen, and we'll give you our professional opinion. If you've never been here before, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, send it to your mom, put it in the boys and girls chat, and then also put it in your town's Facebook group, so that way everyone can understand what Playbook of the Wealthy is and who we are. Thank you if you have left us a like, comment, subscribe, follow, etc., because we have been seeing those upticks and our exposure is growing, especially on YouTube. So we appreciate you if you're listening and looking on YouTube. If you haven't been here before, our podcast is split up into 4 sections. You get to know us personally, professionally. Usually we dive into content, but today we are all focusing on questions, so it'll be a little bit of a different feel. Before we dive into our questions, Heather, I'm going to check in on you professionally. How is everything going?
Okay, so in the summer, finally things are slowing down, and I'm starting to catch up on CE, continued education credits, which are out, insert curse word, for me because I have so many credentials, which I know you make fun of me, and I'm coming to your dark side, Dave.
Yes, come over.
Okay, do you remember when you told me you take designations, you do it to get the education, but then you don't actually go and get the credential because you don't want the continuing education and the continual fees, that you just want to learn the knowledge. You just want to take the knowledge.
Yep.
I'm thinking of dropping my certified student loan professional designation.
Is that even relevant anymore with all the changes?
Well, that's actually why I'm disappointed, and why, another advisor friend of mine, we got the designation together, and he texted me this morning and he was like, I'm thinking of dropping it. And I said, I actually agree, because with all these changes in student loans, I went and read their blog post, which should have been sent to me as someone who pays you hundreds of dollars a year to use your designation, so I could read your thoughts on it. But also, you should be doing a webinar for us, or telling me what your thoughts are on all these new regulations in your small world of student loans, of what should I be telling my clients right now? What are you thinking through? That's why I took your designation, and I pay all this money for continued education. It's all that part of it, and nothing. I'm getting it from all other sources. So I'm like, why do I have this designation? I don't even agree with it anymore because it's not doing what I want it to do. I'm very disappointed and frustrated in it, actually.
You sound it. Holy cow.
I like knowledge. Have you not known that about me? I think you do. I like to know. I like to be in the know. When I'm not in the know, I get mad.
Okay, so let me rephrase this. How many designations do you have that
4.
you put after your name? 4.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 that I've done through education. Technically, I only have 1 because that's the only one that I keep up to date. And the only one that actually matters, in my opinion, to consumers, which is the Certified Financial Planner designation. The other add-ons, people don't care.
Other advisors look to it. I think my CPA and Certified Financial Planner I would never drop. I know that my clients don't know what an RLP is. I like being part of that community, though. I do believe in it, so it still feels good, and I still feel like they give out great continuing education. If I wanted to sharpen my skills a little bit and just get a refresher, I could easily go sign up for a webinar. And of course, I pay for it, but it's really good content. It makes me a better advisor, right?
Sure.
This, I'm paying you hundreds of dollars a year for what? And you're not even staying up. There are huge changes in student loans. This should be, sorry, I'm frustrated. So that's,
I can tell.
But on a positive,
say it in a happy voice.
In a positive, I am catching up on my continuing education, because now as advisors, as if I don't have enough continuing education, because I'm registered in California, there's now this new CE requirement of 12 credits a year that you have to get on top of my CFP, my CPA, my CSLP, and my RLP, right? You see the problem that I'm having.
And do you do CE the way that you're supposed to do it, or do you do it the way that where you can cheat and you'll rarely get found out? Do I need to explain that to you?
If you know that you are asking the very ethical person that my husband makes fun of me, that I never even have to study for ethics because I can just answer everything correctly. So what do you think that
you're like my wife. She hates breaking the
Yes.
rules too. So when you do an hour of CE and you do it in 30 minutes, you go and find another CE so you can actually fill up that hour time.
You're doing 2 CEs at the same time?
No, if you are supposed to do an hour of CE, but you actually get done with that CE in a half an hour, are you going to find something else to fill in that half an hour so it actually is an hour?
No.
Can I take it a step further?
Yes.
I'm supposed to do 30 hours of CE every 2 years for the Certified Financial Planner. Takes me about 5. Dun, dun, dun.
That's not my case.
Come over to the real dark side, Heather. I'll get your CE done in a day.
You're going to laugh, but you know this about me. I'm a nerd. So like CE I just got was on the new OBA bill, right? I'm literally listening to that. Like that was legit. But I take CE that I really want to learn about. I wait till, and then I use some of my CE for my CFP, which staying up on, or CPA, staying up on tax law takes forever. So, and you know what, if the CFP wants to come back at me for that, fine. But I think it makes me a better advisor.
Yeah. I mean, there's CE and then there's reading to keep up with stuff. So I find CE ridiculous. I'm like, sure, I'm going to get it done in a short amount of time possible, but you better know that I read multiple hours a week to keep up on things.
All right. What's going on with you?
Coming to the end of the summer, looking at full work for clients, because that's how I have bunched my practice. I do a lot of work in the fall. I do a lot of work in the spring, and the summer is literally made for other stuff. So traveling is coming up. Multiple states, multiple clients. That's when I have to figure out where I'm going to fit that all in with my wife's work schedule, kids' sports schedules, and school schedules, and do all the work for those meetings too. So it's fun. It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
So funny that you travel to the states your clients live in to you meet with them in person.
It's part of the perk of my service. I always tell them I will come and see you once a year because I want to see what their life is like. And I think that FaceTime's important.
I did have my oldest clients come in my house. I've now started on my dining room table. It was amazing.
I had some of the best planning conversations early in the day around kitchen tables. It was great. But yeah, so it'll be Arizona, Arkansas, maybe going out to Boston, maybe the South Carolina, North Carolina area of the world. We'll see. Depends who wants to actually see me in person. If they don't want to see me in person, then I'm not going.
I don't know if my clients would want to see me in person. Maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't like seeing you in person. And here we go. We're going into the next section of our podcast. It's going to be an extended version of What Would You Do?
We got questions from listeners, and I want to say I really appreciate it. Everyone knows, if you have not figured out, I love questions. So please email them in, and we're going to answer them right now. And we're going to start off with a bang. Dave, do you want to start? I probably just messed up your whole editing. I see your face right now. Dave's not happy with me, everyone.
Like they're going to hear all of this.
Oh, it's the best part of the podcast, probably. All right, I'm quiet.
Here we go. Question number 1. My husband and I currently live in California, where there's a lot of political unrest. Do you foresee a risk of personal wealth being at risk of being confiscated by the federal government? And if so, how would you recommend protecting that money?
First off, I want to say to this listener, I am sorry you are living in this much fear. That it must be awful. And I don't want to undermine that right now can feel heavy to a lot of people. And I get that. But I also want to put your mind at ease that is not one of my concerns for you or my clients. Unless you've committed tax fraud or committed some kind of horrible felony. I don't know. I know the federal government does confiscate assets if you've done something really bad. So assuming you have not done that, I am absolutely not concerned at this moment of the federal government confiscating your wealth. And And if that does happen, we have way bigger problems in the United States. And I'm going to give you an example of a country in a second where I'm going to put your mind at ease of how far away we actually are from that. How would I recommend protecting your money? It goes through all the same principles that Dave and I have discussed. Diversification, diversify, diversify. But I do want you to understand that if you are thinking about putting your money abroad, unless you are willing to give up your US citizenship, the US has made rules where you have to disclose if you have a certain amount of money outside of the US. And I know this because I have lived outside of the US and been an expat. So if you have over $10,000 in a foreign bank account, that's reported through FBAR. And if you have a foreign investment, go look up PFIC. And it's a pain. So I completely understand that you are fearful, but don't put too much energy into it. I don't think that that is something you need to be concerned about.
Yeah. I love how you went into all that detail, because I would not have done that. Because I agree. Go get out of the US bubble. Go and look at what other countries are going through or have gone through. Our country, yes, it's some scary bubbles around what we're going through, but we are a very normal country that is seeing an increasing influx of people who want to move here to get away from where they're coming from. So it's still the place to be. Yeah. I've been with a company over a decade, and I've accumulated 1,000 hours of PTO. How many hours is that, Dave? How many weeks is that? That's over 5 months of PTO.
Oh my gosh. That's like almost half a year of a sabbatical. They're looking to move to a cap and offered to pay out about 800 hours. So they have 1,800. Okay. At 35% of my current wage, I make 13,000 a month. What are my options in using this vacation time, or should I negotiate for more? Ooh, Dave, what do you have to say on this one?
I mean, that's a heck of a problem. I can see why your company's moving to a different PTO plan if you're able to accumulate 1,000 hours. Mm-hmm. So let's break it down. So 800 hours is 20 weeks, 40 hours a week. So that's 5 months. If you make 13,000 a month and they're going to pay you out 35% of that, that's 22,750 as a lump sum. So it's just less than 2 months of your pay. It depends on what you're looking to do. Like, should you be taking this vacation time if you can take it, or do you take the payout? In my eyes, if you've accumulated 1,000 hours of PTO, you're not valuing vacation time. You're just not taking it. So if you're not going to take it, then just get a payout on it. Or if you want to split it in two. But also, if they're paying you 35%, negotiate more.
It came up the other day, Steve Jobs' letter that he wrote when he was dying. I know this is a little sombering, but I think it's a good reminder. You know, he's like, all this wealth, that's not what actually matters in the end of the day. This huge mansion doesn't matter in the end of the day. It's a really beautiful letter. I can't articulate it as how Steve Jobs wrote it. Mm-hmm. But it reminded me of the situation where work is not everything. And I love my job. I mean, I'm sitting here recording with Dave just to talk about it. I talk to cab drivers about I love finances. I read finances for fun. I could go on and on. But there's also a point of being away from your work. That's actually when I become my best, because I step aside, I get perspective. I clear my mind. I think clear when I come back. Yeah. And 22,000, 13,000 a month times 5, 65. Am I right? Like, you're getting 1/3. Yeah, I guess that's 35%. 1/3. Like, I'd keep making my 13,000 a month and go travel. I would take a sabbatical. And there's actually data, I think, done. Go research, listener, on these studies. But mini sabbaticals are actually now what people are starting to do. And they really help with wanting to stay in your career longer and enjoy your career. I'd take the 5 months. I would not take the payout. I have enough through pensions and investment accounts to cover my needs for the rest of my life, but I'm still working. I'm 56.
I have approximately 50,000 per year to invest, and I'm considering getting into cryptocurrency. What would you suggest? I'm going to answer this quickly first, and Heather's going to give you the long answer. My answer is no. Heather, you can go ahead.
I got to ask, do you literally just tell your clients no and they just listen? You don't elaborate, just no.
I'll explain it, but I'm like, if someone came to me and said, all right, I got 50,000 a year, I'm going to invest in crypto. I'm like, no. Not if you're working with me. You can go do it somewhere else.
I have my clients that play. So my answer is different. It's a speculative asset. There's no value behind it. People can argue it all day, but truly, people buying it is what's giving it its value right now.
If someone came to you and said, I have $50,000 to invest in Pokemon cards or NFTs, what would you tell them?
Why? I always start asking questions. If a client wants to play, if they're genuinely just interested in it and it keeps them aligned with their other goals, if the client said they want to buy a boat, you'd let them buy a boat. Well, maybe they don't want to buy a boat. Maybe they want to buy cryptocurrency. Like, okay, fine, but not $50,000. I'd probably be like, well, people normally spend more than they want in retirement and normally need more than they want in retirement or financial freedom, where things can happen and they have to retire earlier. I don't know. I'd probably do a 50-50 approach. It's back to my 50-50. I'd be like, fine, you can throw 25,000 in crypto. We're going to make some parameters, because I did do that with my clients. So once it doubles, we take some profits off the table. And you have to be okay that it could go to zero.
Oh, you're so much nicer than I am.
You are. I am, I guess.
This might seem like a silly question. There's nothing silly. What is the difference between a financial advisor, a financial planner, and a wealth manager?
I think this is such a great question, Dave, and a problem in our industry, honestly. That is such a great question. I just want to say to the listener, and valid.
It happens a lot more than you think, this question.
And this is going to shock you. I'm sure Dave's going to say the same thing. There's no difference.
Except the ego of whoever's given themselves the title. Wealth manager. I don't work with poor people.
I call myself a financial planner because it feels better. Like, I plan. I really get into it. That's what felt right. But I'm a financial advisor. I'm a wealth manager. I'm all the things. I choose to use the term financial planner because I think it describes my work the best. What I think the most important thing to look to is not what someone's calling themselves, but the designations after their name. Like, are they a CFP? Are they fee only? Are they a true fiduciary? One of my friends, I don't think she's going to mind that I share this, but she has a potential job opportunity at a wealth management firm. And she shared me, it's a sizable one. And she asked me about them. So I go into their ADV. It's something we as financial advisors have to file. And they are, this advisor has an extra business on the side where he sells insurance, right? It's that dual registration, dual registration. And I'm like, not as clean, not as up and up. That's not a true fiduciary to me. If you can go over and sell products here, and there were many like conflicts of interest that had to be disclosed in this ADV. And I'm like, hey, if you're going to go earn a nice living and they're going to give you a nice job, like, that's fine. But just know that this isn't the same as what I do, right? And that's what I think people that are looking for a financial advisor, wealth manager, whatever, more pay attention to. Is this all they do? Do they sell products? Do they make commissions off the things? Do they get referral fees? What's their experience? Are they a CFP, right? Like, those are the things that I think are the most important, not what they call themselves.
I think, if you ask this question to someone in the industry, it has to be followed up with a follow-up question of, well, what do you do for your clients? Because I could call myself all three of these things on the same day, because it all covers what someone in our industry does. But then if you lead in with, okay, well, what do you do for your clients? I would then go into very retirement specific things and how it links in with taxes and estate planning, because those get offered as well. You're going to say something completely different. An insurance agent has to say something very different. They would have to say, I sell insurance products, or they'll say it in a not way like that, but you'll get to the truth eventually of they don't do any planning. They just sell product. So you have to follow up with a good question.
Okay, next question. And that was not a silly question. I want to go back to. There are no silly questions here. My family has been in farming for generations. Oh, this is you. Don't you have farmers? You have farming clients, I feel like. I've inherited a significant amount of farmland valued at $4 million. Okay. I rent out the land to other farmers, which provides me with income. My only other funds are in a checking account of $150,000. I am wondering if I'm creating a problem for myself or if this will be okay. Oh my gosh, I have to yes, you are creating a problem. There are multiple problems. Woo! Let's clean you up.
This is actually a lot harder to answer, knowing I have farming clients, than you might think. Inherited farmland has so many emotional ties to it that it's hard to let go of. But there's a reason that so many farming families go broke, because they will not give up the farm.
That I get, but I'm also at $150,000 in checking. Like, do you need $150,000 in your checking account? That seems like a lot of cash to keep. Like, let's maybe put some of that in a high yield savings account. Maybe you can invest some of that so it grows alongside the farmland. I mean, that's one, to try to diversify. And if you don't want to sell it, then are we assuming that the rent is literally just covering the expenses, or is the 150 in the checking account growing because it's spitting off some rental income that we can reinvest and diversify on the outside? That's what I'm hoping. So we can diversify outside of the farmland.
Sure. So usually rent is over and above expenses, from what I've seen with farmers and people who've inherited farms. I did have one client who sold the family farm probably like a year ago, created a lot of money, but then they were stuck emotionally because they were like, we just sold the family farm, and they couldn't move on from that. So there's so many emotional ties. But if you've been inheriting farmland, you could split this farmland up. Like, if you've been listening to our real estate episodes, you could potentially do a 1031 with this farm land. If you have gains in your non-inherited farmland, you may want to split that up and do some different types of real estate or different types of assets. There's lots of approaches here, but yes, you do have a problem if you have $4 million of farmland and your only other asset is $150,000 of cash. You need to be doing something different. The other thing you want to look into is using the farm for different purposes. Like, if there are government programs that essentially double the amount of rent you can earn because you're planting different crops, or not using it for crops and using it for different reasons, then that's another way to go, because then you can use that increase in rent to start to diversify your portfolio too. You still get to keep the farmland and you still keep it in the family, but now it's just different use and you just get more money for it.
There'd be a lot to unpack here. So I would hope they have a good team around them to help make the right decisions for them. That's what I would say.
If you want a fun TV show to check out that's related to farming but is actually fun to watch, it's called Clarkson's Farm. Jeremy Clarkson was a car journalist in England and did the Top Gear show for decades. And then he finished that and bought a farm. He wasn't a farmer. And so to watch him through 4 seasons of trying to figure out how to be a farmer, it's hilarious. And like, his farm hand is like, we need a new tractor. He turns up with a Lamborghini tractor the next week. It's huge. It can't do the jobs the farm needed. And he's getting a look by his farm hand like, what did you do? And he's like, but this tractor's amazing. So, and if you didn't know, Lamborghini was a tractor company before it was a car company.
I didn't know that. That actually makes me respect them as a company a little more, actually.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
That's our question section done. We are moving into highlights. That is the personal part of our podcast. And here we go. So, when your kids go to bed early? Do they go to bed early? I'll ask you that question first. And then it's like silent in your house and you get to choose exactly when you go to bed. I haven't had that in my house for probably 10 years. This week, I've had one kid away from camp and another one went on a sleepover. And Sarah and I just looked at us and were like, it's like 5 p.m. We can choose whenever we go to bed. We don't have to pick anyone up. We don't have to make sure people are in bed to turn the lights off. We can do whatever we want. yeah, we were asleep before 10 o'clock. It was fantastic.
Parents will understand this. I completely understand that. I'm not surprised. Alex and I, before kids, on really bad, like just really busy work days, you can make fun of us, but we have a tray. We have like this thing that Alex bought to make me breakfast in bed. And it's been the same one since we started dating. Mm-hmm. And we take that tray, we make pancakes and eggs, and we go sit in bed and watch TV, eat dinner in bed, and then go to sleep. Like that's our thing. Now, that has not been able to really happen since the twins came. Like that is a very rare event. But so I get that. I feel like if we had that, that's exactly what Alex and I would do. We would make our pancakes and eggs. We would go put on our favorite movie. We would eat dinner in bed and we would relax and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Now it's gone. Like they're back home. We're about to go on vacation, bringing kids' friends with us. And it's like, yeah, that piece is gone. It was nice. What about you?
On Sunday, I did something that I just haven't been able to do. I think it's because the kids are getting to this age. But we have this huge lawn behind us at our unit in Park City. And I took our picnic blanket. I laid it out. The girls brought their toys. I said, Alex, let's just go lay out and read. I want to read this. I'm in this finance book. And I was like, let's read. Let's let the girls play outside. Let's just try it. We laid out all afternoon under this tree and read. Wow. And then we had like, I left my phone upstairs. Like I didn't touch my phone all day. I checked in, of course, but it was brilliant. Like just being able to be there as a family present without electronics, to be outside on the grass. I mean, it's just grounding. And to read. So we'd read some and then the girls would like want our attention. And so we'd like play little games and then we'd go back to reading and they'd go play. I mean, it was just, those are the moments. They're not big moments, but they are, if you know what I mean, right? It was just so present. You could tell their cup was so filled with just being with mom and dad and just us as a family. And we're just looking up at the mountaintops. I mean, we literally, the grass lawn views Deer Valley Resort where the skiing is. Like that's our view. It's awful, let me tell you. And so
it sounds terrible.
Oh, it's horrible. And so, it was a beautiful day. And it was a highlight to just be like, sometimes you just need those days of just family time, no electronics, no errands. And I can now get some reading done and the girls play.
It's a moment.
I love it. So that's a big one for me that I now think I can get back to reading 4.5 years later.
So Jordan finishes up.
All opinions expressed by Dave Grant and Heather Townsend are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the views of their respective wealth management firms. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Nothing in this material constitutes a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Clients of Retirement Matters and Townsend Financial may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. If you want to listen to us audio only, any podcast app, that's where we're at. Video-wise, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. If you want to send us a question, hello@playbookotw.com, and we'll see you next time.
Toodles.